Welcome to Senegal. What if you had just 4 days in hand to do this wonderful West African country on a motorcycle? I'm Sunny and I'm an Indian motorcyclist and photographer who's going around Africa on Apache. The TVS Apache RTR series of motorcycles are made in India but exported around the world, including the African nation of Senegal. Considering the majority of Africa is still developing, a reliable performance motorcycle for the Senegalese motorcycle enthusiasts is extremely important. In fact, Senegal is my second country in this series, with 4 days in Egypt being the first one. I landed in the capital city of Dakar, the city that gave its name to the toughest motoring rally in the world. That does not take place anymore in this region, unfortunately, but the name lives on. TVS is also the first Indian manufacturer to enter the Dakar rally in 2015. So here is my pickup car in Senegal. Not bad. Checked in to my hotel in Dakar in Senegal. Hotels in West Africa, in the main cities, they are extremely expensive. So this is not a big room at all, but this is 25,000 rupees, that is 285 US dollars. In India, you will get the best of the best 5-star hotel in this amount. I have to remind myself, I'm actually in Africa. This is not something just for show. This is part of their culture. It's my first morning here in Senegal and I woke up to this view. Look at this. So my first kilometer in Senegal. Let us meet my local host and rider.
And with me here is a gentleman called Motard Anonyme, which essentially means anonymous motorcyclist, if I'm not wrong.
Exactly.
And he's taking me around so he does not take off his helmet. Finally, I'm in Senegal, which is the second country here on Africa on Apache. And I'm in the practical center of Dakar, which is the capital of Senegal. Behind me is representation of color of Senegal, the flag of Senegal.
The name of this place says a lot about this place. This is called Place de l'Indépendance, the Independence Place.
Okay.
After 1960, when we got our independence, we decided to change the place and name it Place de l'Indépendance.
After a brief ride through Dakar, we arrived at Dakar Motors, where we met a few TVS Apache riders.
He has come all the way from India to ride Apache in Africa.
Thank you.
Vive Senegal!
We are starting from here, the showroom in Dakar. Nobody is honking. This is so good to see. Dakar is quite developed, as we can see here. Actually quite beautiful some places. Dakar is a city of around 3 million people. That puts it in the top 30 most populated cities in all of Africa. The city had good infrastructure and friendly traffic for us to enjoy the Apaches as a flickable and nimble motorcycle. It also has a mix of French colonial, Islamic and West African architecture with some monuments and graffitis sprinkled all over. Talking about monuments, the African Renaissance Monument just outside Dakar is the tallest monument in Africa that was unveiled on Senegal's Independence Day from France. The monument shows an African family rising from a rocky base and looking towards the sky, signifying Africa's bright and hopeful future. Dakar is sitting on the Cape Verde Peninsula, overlooking the vast North Atlantic Ocean that also has the most westerly point of Africa.
It's literally the edge of Africa.
It is.
And as you can see here, you're seeing arrows and city names. From here, it's 4,375 kilometers to London. Same here with Ottawa, same here with Washington, D.C.
London is so close, you can actually walk. If you compare how far is Sydney, which is here,
Sydney,
17,600 kilometers.
95% of Senegalese practice Islam, and there are some beautiful mosques overlooking the ocean in many places.
So right now we are in a beautiful place. Sun has already set, but this is the Mosque of Divinity. What a beautiful name. I, being from India, this motorcycle being from India, we are used to a lot of different religions. We work together. Some of my best friends are Muslims, and being here in a country which is primarily dominated by one religion, truth be told, I don't feel it, because I met so many bikers today. I didn't know whether they were Muslims or Christians or whoever. And this is the magic of motorcycles.
The TVS Apache RTR proved to be an excellent machine to navigate through the iconic city of Dakar. It was also light and peppy enough to take off roads and sand to the westernmost point of Africa. But now it was time to head out of the city. But as we head out, free and full of excitement on our TVS Apache RTRs, we came across the Goree Island in the distance, which is off coast Dakar and is considered to be one of the major slave trading posts.
Okay, right now behind us is the Goree Island. So in English, Goree means actually something very scary, something very bad. This island is actually a place where a lot of thousands and thousands of slaves, they used to live before they were taken to America, crossing the Atlantic Ocean in horrendous conditions. It's a shame on humanity, that humans can treat humans like this.
Our ancestors had really terrible lives and they did not deserve it. Now, since it is the past, we don't forget, but we move on. We move on and we try to build the future. Nowadays, Goree Island, it's an island that everybody knows and people coming here to visit and remember the story, because the story should be told to everyone. Everyone should know the story.
And it should never be repeated. And we should not take granted, like we are riding these motorcycles, we are free. It is such a different time than what it was when the slave trade was going on.
Next up was the famous Pink Lake. That was also the culminating point of the Dakar Rally for many years. Located an hour out of the city, this will take you through some highways and rural areas with some amazing ocean views. The way people were enjoying themselves on the beach gave me a sense of belief in humanity after all the atrocities they were subjected to in the colonial rule. I had no idea what revelations about slave trade would come in my journey ahead through countries in Africa. And as a motorcyclist, the appreciation of the sense of freedom given by riding the motorcycles, the Apaches, through these very roads that once were used for slave trade was overwhelming.
I was in Australia, I saw a similar lake, and I learned that, the lake turns pink under the sunlight because it acts like a sunshade. The amoebas and planktons, they turn this color so that they filter the sun rays, they don't reach the bottom of the lake.
The deep of this lake is 1.5 meters.
Okay.
And 1 meter deep inside is full of salt.
Okay.
And only half a meter is water. You can float very easily on this lake.
Oh, like the Dead
salt.
Sea. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the Dead Sea.
Yes.
Right. And I believe that they also mine a lot of salt and they export it around Africa. Wow.
Especially in Europe, because they use the salt on the pavement and stuff like that during winter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that the ice does not.
So the ice don't stick on the roads.
Lake Retba, which is the Pink Lake's official name, is also a popular destination for ATV adventures and boating. However, I took some handicraft souvenirs for my collection back home. Supporting the local craftsmen and sellers is always a good gesture, especially in countries like this. You can also grab camel rides in the dunes at sunset. However, we had to get to our destination for the day, known as Saly. Dakar and surrounds have a pretty good infrastructure, with smooth expressways and buildings like these. This is one of the Africa's newest basketball arenas. Slowly but surely, many countries in Africa seem to be developing, and I am a firm believer that sports and motorcycling have a big hand in keeping the youth of any country positively charged, focused, and disciplined in life. Talking about discipline, the town of Saly is considered as a Riviera of Senegal, with resorts and a lot of people from Dakar treating this as a weekend getaway. Near the town of Saly, we rode on the dried parts of the Samon Lagoon. This area is beautiful with a lot of birds and interplay of colors if you go at the right time.
The ecosystem here is absolutely fantastic. On one side you've got the lagoon, and on the other side you've got the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. And with the TVS Apache RTR here, which is made thousands of kilometers away in India, it was a wonderful experience. The main advantage of having a bike like the Apache RTR is that it was so light, and despite the fact that this has road tires, it really performed well on the off-road track as well.
Anonymous biker and I had a blast riding there before we arrived on the beautiful beaches of Samon. After the wonderful sunset at the Samon Lagoon, Saly proved to be a great destination for dinner, and it truly justified its reputation as the Riviera of Senegal, with good dinner, music, and fantastic weather that beckoned us to wake up early next morning and get riding on our TVS Apache RTRs.
So this is the resort that we were staying in here in Saly, and look at this. This is the best of the best. Right now it must be around 16 degrees, and this is how it's looking. The sun has just risen. So I think a lot of us have got the wrong idea about Africa, and this is amazing.
The next day, we head out to Hual Fadiout, that is a fishing village connected to an island called Fadiout, that is made up of entirely shells. This island also surprisingly shows us how religiously tolerant and peaceful Senegal actually is.
Welcome to Joal Fadiout. Behind you is the island of Fadiout.
Okay.
And did you know Senegalese first president, Léopold Sédar Senghor, who was born here in Joal Fadiout.
Okay.
And this place of Senegal, they have a cemetery just there.
Okay.
And the cemetery is not a Muslim cemetery or a Christian cemetery.
Okay.
It's a mixed cemetery.
Wow.
This is one of the few places where you can have a cemetery that can take Muslims and Christians.
This is really
This
amazing.
population, they live in harmony, and the island is beautiful.
Yeah.
And Joal is part of the Senegal, is one of the most important part in Senegal.
We took this opportunity to take out the TVS Apache RTR on a fishing boat, a bit towards the islands. The lure of the open waters is something else. We ventured a little further deep till the end of the peninsula, aside some colorful houses and busy roads, and came to this beautiful and colorful village where everyone was busy going around with their business. The TVS Apache RTR 200 looked absolutely stunning against this backdrop. This made me realize once more that how important is good design and is also easy on the eyes. The TVS Apache RTR 200 manages to look sharp and bigger than a 200cc motorcycle. Fishing in Senegal is a very important part of the economy. The fishermen like to paint their wooden boats bright colors, and they still use nets and other traditional methods, which makes it look even more engrossing. Senegal's smaller roads are often unpaved and some even with a lot of sand. So riding in Senegal means you definitely need to know how to handle your motorcycle in these kinds of terrains. These roads were in a decently sized town and not even proper rural areas. However, because the TVS Apache RTR 200 is light and peppy, it was relatively easy to handle it. But road tires are definitely not recommended. And then there are the bustling markets in almost every town and village, which makes the economy feel really alive and people full of energy. Before we finished our rendezvous with Senegal and returned to base in Dakar, we had to visit a Baobab tree. And not just any. The Baobab di Sambadia is the largest baobab tree in Senegal and one of the largest in all of Africa, but not the oldest. The landscape surrounding this was amazing with hundreds of such trees, but this one was special. So you can actually go inside this tree. It's very big, it will fit around 30 people.
The biggest baobab in the whole Senegal.
Oh, how old is this?
900 years old
900.
and 35 meters of circumference.
This is incredible. It's very damp here. There used to be bats, but there are no bats anymore. You can see a little bit of the sky from here.
4 days in Senegal is definitely not enough. But since this series is about getting an introduction to different African countries on TVS Apache RTR that is made in my homeland, perhaps you would want to ride Senegal one day, the whole of it. It is an amazing country with friendly people, amazing ocean views, some hardcore off-roading riding if you are into it, and amazing weather. Our next country for Africa on Apache will be Mali.